Sweating in a bear suit. Sweating in a bear suit. I am sweating in a bear suit. Sweating in a bear suit and having lots of fun with my sweat.
Hello? Welcome to Sweating in a Bear Suit, the podcast where we talk about work and leadership and things. We have shifted up a little bit lately and have been talking about our work rather than work in general to help other people think about their work. Bit of an experiment, but that's our vibe. Anyway,
Reflecting in public. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We are nude reflecting. I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
G. I'm in a weird mood. This is going to be a weird ep. That's okay, though.
That's okay. You often we try and describe the podcast in one sentence we call a strapline, because that's what people who know what they're talking about describe sentences or phrases after a title as. We don't have one. You keep coming up with options. Today,
Yes.
What's your option?
Yeah, your one was really great before. We talk about work and things and stuff. That's a good one. We should remember that one. Here it is. Get ready for my one that I wrote. I spent hours on this, G. I spent hours. I didn't just write it down 5 minutes before we started. Get ready. Sweating in a bear suit. Earhole worky talk joy.
Great. Last week we talked about pleasure for your ears, didn't we? This kind of is in theme. Put on the shortlist.
Put on the shortlist. Earhole is a kind of horrible 2 words together, isn't it? Really, when you think about it, there's something about it that I don't like. There
aren't many phrases about the human body that have hole in them that are that are good to your ear holes.
yeah. Your mouth hole, your nose hole. These are not things that you say. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, right. All right, so that's on the short list, but sadly, next week we will do another one. By the way, I really like this gag, and I insist that we keep doing it, even if everyone else doesn't.
Yeah, we know. I don't know that we've ever had any feedback on it, but you love it, we'll stick with it. The whole point of this is to enjoy ourselves, and so if you like it, let's do it.
Let's just bloody do it, eh?
Bloody do it. Great. So what do we talk about? We are subscribers to the theories of reflective practice being good for humans who have to learn things and have to, through experience, and process the emotions that come up with working and experience, because we are humans who have emotions and sometimes they get in the way. So reflective practice helps you avoid them getting in the way and also helps you learn through your experiences.
Can I add something to that, G?
Please do.
Mate, yes, totally. Sometimes emotions get in the way. And also, sometimes emotions help us learn more stuff. Sometimes emotions don't get in the way. They help you do the things. And the great thing about reflective practice is both of those things can be true. So your feelings and the while you're doing something, how you feel can give you a whole bunch of data that can make you more awesome at the thing that you do. And we're going to do that in front of you because we think it's important. So we do the thing that we think everyone should do, which is stop and reflect on our work and then see what comes up. See if it's interesting. We'll find out together, dear listener.
The 3 questions we asked ourselves are: what happened, how did it feel, and what does it mean? You don't have to be as formal as those 3 questions, but that's the general vibe that reflective practice goes for. You also don't have to do it in a sit down, we will do this once a week, month, together time. Stef and I do this all the time in conversation. But in order to show you all what we do, we thought we better press record and have one of those conversations on the internet. So, Stef, what's been happening lately?
Good. Before I jump into my reflections, I think it's good to just remember like the context of what the last month has been like. So, what's happened in this month? Uh, we have settled after some international travel and been back in the rhythm of us two working together. I took a little break and went horse camping. Uh, there has been much discussion between the two of us about setting up for the next phase of work that's been going on. So we've been doing lots of planning and getting things ready. Aside, I went horse camping. Did you do anything particularly of note, of worth?
No, it was a behind the scenes sort of a month.
Yeah.
In that there was a bit of website stuff, there was a bit of product development stuff, there was a bit of customer research, business development research stuff.
Things.
Yeah, it wasn't a delivery time. It was a work on stuff time.
Yeah. So that is kind of where like the last month has been about that. You also took a holiday? You did take a holiday.
Well, I went away to I actually went twice in the last month to the Megalong Valley.
Yeah. And you will have gone because we're recording this before you go on another holiday. So you did
right,
also
yeah.
go on another holiday that we just you haven't done yet.
Exactly. Those were just weekend jaunts up the road.
Yeah.
Whereas this is an actual holiday.
An actual holiday.
Approaching in June. Yeah.
And that's important for us. Is this month we decided it was important to take rest because we know what's coming up. Anyway, that is context setting. What is my reflection? There's always heaps of them, but the one that I want to talk about is this morning, G, I went for a walk with my lovely dog who is awake and not dripping off the couch like he normally does. I went for a walk and I know my neighbours really well. And so 4 of my neighbours were sitting down and having coffee together. And I was chatting to them. I was like, oh, great. I'm so glad you're here. I'm about to say the most terrible sentence in the world because I need your help doing something. So get ready for the most terrible sentence in the world. And I said, I'm trying to get big on LinkedIn. And actually, I don't mean that. Like I'm proud of the thing that I'm doing. Also, yeah. And so I had to ask someone to take a photo of me and my dog because we were wearing matching outfits. And I thought it possibly could make a good post talking about workwear, like what you wear to work.
Is this a current outfit that you were wearing?
Yeah. Can
Drifter
I'll
has
show
one
people.
of those.
He doesn't have this exact outfit, but my neighbour sewed him a coat that is green as well. So we went out this morning, me dressed like this with white Air Force Ones and him in a green coat with like a skivvy thing. It looked really cool.
That's amazing. For those who do the ear hole only, not video, Stefan is wearing a matching tracksuit in a mint green.
Yeah. Think Missy Elliott of the like 90s. And I have a theory that workwear should be way more than a suit, and that particularly hip hop culture does very good workwear, I think, modern workwear. So I think of what I am wearing right now as actually being workwear attire. And I was wondering if potentially the rest of LinkedIn would agree or not. It's very on brand for us. But anyway, what I had to do is acknowledge publicly this thing that I'm doing, which is standing up in front of a crowd and being like, hey, look at me. And my month has been about that vulnerability because we have instituted like a program of social media stuff. And it has been quite vulnerable because every day you're going out and saying something in front of a crowd of however many people. And it's kind of, I'm enjoying it, G, but it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Like when I had to go to people I know and be like, can you take a photo of me for social media? I felt embarrassed. And that's also the case when I get up on stage and I speak. This week, I was talking to a client because they may engage us to work on like nerves, imposter syndrome, all of that kind of stuff that come up in work. And I was talking about how I get really nervous, and they didn't believe that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm always nervous. Before we recorded this podcast, what did I need to do, G? I needed to do a nervous wee. And then you said, are you nervous? I'm like, yeah, all the time, constantly nervous. And so, yeah, this month has been about really clocking that vulnerability all the time, and the fact that I am doing this thing where I'm drawing attention to myself, but I'm also kind of shy and embarrassed about it at the same time. That's been the big thing this month for me.
And what do you think that means?
Yes, this is a good one. I think I've been reflecting in other areas of my life that often before something really exciting happens, I feel a bit scared or a bit vulnerable or a bit embarrassed. They're kind of linked together. Those feelings of vulnerability are kind of often linked to when something becomes a success. Now, what I'm not saying is like, oh, this tells me that I am going to become LinkedIn's number one work influencer and Adam Grant will be calling me up. I'm not saying that. I think for me, when I'm doing, this is a weird one. When I'm doing what I should be doing, I think I get nervous. When I'm doing something that I don't care about, I don't get nervous. Makes me think, gee, when I was acting, there was a period of about a year that I hated acting because I stopped getting nervous. Like I didn't care. I just went up on stage and I did the thing and then I walked off stage, and at the start it was kind of cool because I was like, oh, I don't have nerves anymore. Oh, I must be like a good actor now because it's like a job. But then really quickly it was no fun. The thing stopped being fun because I didn't really care. And I was doing good work. I just didn't care. And by the end of that period, I can remember really wanting to get nervous again. Like I wanted to be anxious before a performance. I wanted to be wondering if it would go well because that actually was what made it really exciting. So this is interesting because I'm just having the thought now that for me, the nerves is far more a positive thing. It shows me that I really care and I'm really involved and there's a bit of risk. I like a bit of risk. I like when the tightrope is a little bit off the ground. I like all of those feelings. Yeah. And so potentially what it means for me is that it's actually a good sign when I'm feeling vulnerable and nervous because I'm actually doing something that I care about.
Yes, I often quote you when people fear something and say they're nervous. I say, Stefan says, nerves just tell you care about something. And caring about things is good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And if I were like, often the work that we do is about helping people to potentially feel more confident to take up space or to be heard or to present or to be at work. And one of the best things that I ever heard someone say to someone else is that when you're getting really nervous and getting really freaked out, the tendency is to put the attention more on yourself. But when you focus on what it is that you're there to do, that attention goes outwards and it harnesses the nerves to be like, the reason why I care is I really care about this thing and I care about helping this person to understand it. And it like sharpens it. It turns the nerves into something that is useful. Sorry, I'm on a bit of a tear. I heard another person say that, and I can't remember who, so they were very smart. They were great. I thank them for what they said, but I can't remember who they were. that potentially we have maligned stress too much. And so everyone's been talking about how bad stress is. Well, actually, there is stress that is positive, like the stress of really caring about something. Like if you can harness that energy, it actually is impetus to like move and do and try. And yeah, this month I've been moving and doing and trying. And I think I've been feeling a bit more spicy about it.
Are you learning things?
Well, yeah. Well, yes, I am. I tell you what, I'm learning a lot about how social media works. I've never learned, I've never known about that. Of course, in that reflection, I'm learning about myself. But I think one of the things that comes with this vulnerability is that because I am, in clown, we use the phrase the idiot. And I mean that as in a positive way. To be the wonderful idiot is to actually not know something. And when you don't know it, you discover it. And my experience of being on LinkedIn is I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm constantly just trying things. And some of it probably looks a bit stupid to people. But every time I try something out, I'm learning from it and I'm becoming better at being able to do the thing that I'm trying to learn, which is how to communicate in the new town square that is social media in a way that people actually respond to. But I can't learn that unless I put myself in the vulnerable position of accepting that I don't know things and then trying things out and failing a lot. Like, mate, that's been the other thing, G, for this month. So many things go out and they fall flat. And you have to be like, okay.
The tale of marketing is such an interesting thing because marketers know this. I've kind of known it academically for a long time. When you actually do it, you see how long these things take to potentially influence. And so you can look at impressions, and clicks, and comments and stuff. It doesn't necessarily tell you whether you're going to convert into a sale of any description ever.
Mm.
And we've kind of got the brand awareness question and the lead generation question is almost, we've just bundled them all in together, but we probably should think about them separately.
Yeah, and you've also made it clear to me that, like, yes, you're being a very good business person. You're being like, oh yeah, because it's for these reasons. Really, when I'm saying failure, you know me. What is the core motivating? Oh, actually, what's the next phrase that's coming out of my mouth? What is Stefan's core motivating thing? The thing that Stefan wants from everyone, and it's okay if you don't get it right.
Oh, that people like you.
Yes. So you're talking about like, do things happen from the thing? Whereas I'm like, I try a thing on social media and literally there are buttons that say like. And I don't see like the post. I say like me. You know what I mean? And actually, I'm only just realizing this now.
It's the beauty of reflective practice. Continue.
When people give me a like, my heart breaks a bit. Because guess what I want? I don't want like.
Oh, there's another button there.
Yeah, which is what? What's the one I want?
There's a love one.
Love one. I want to see hearts from people because that is my core motivating thing. And when you are doing the social media, it's like you're being continuously judged. And I come from a performance background, so I think of this little bit that I've made. Like, it's like someone goes like, oh, go do something. And then you do something. And then no one has a good response. And you're like, oh, and then you have to go off stage and think of another thing to do. It's like clown school all over again, G.
In a very public place. Another thing we have worked out this month in relation to the internet. Well, we've had theories for a while about LinkedIn and its purpose shifting. Well, it's been about work. It's about work. It's where work people talk about their work. Different from different professionals. But you go there to look for a job or to advertise your company services. And people are doing that through content, and the algorithm's encouraging us all to do that. And it's interesting because I think since Twitter changed to X, it's shifted a lot. And there's more commentary and there's more content that isn't so super work-focused. But it hasn't moved over into it's a place where funny stuff happens very often. And if it is, because we've tried funny stuff this month, you don't get the people using the funny response.
Yeah.
Nearly as often as just the like.
Yeah.
Or writing comments.
Which is a strange. So when you make a joke, so here's what my brain does. If I make a joke, if I'm on the social media, I think of it like a human interaction. So I'm just going like, oh, da, da, da. Here is my joke. And then someone goes, do you know what I mean? Like at the pub, someone's just like that
For
one.
those on audio only, Stef has just put his thumb up. Like the like icon.
It's silent and there's just a person doing the thumb at you. Anyway, so, okay, I'm going to wrap it up because I've been ranting enough. It's your turn to rant soon. I'm in a position where I have to learn something and I have to try something new. In doing that, I'm asking myself to be vulnerable. It's making me feel I'm having a very positive experience of feeling nervous, embarrassed, vulnerable. It's the only way I can describe it. I think there are negative ones, but I'm actually enjoying the feelings that are coming up. Like with my neighbors, I kind of liked that it was kind of a weird, embarrassing thing to ask someone to do. I like it. So that's one thing. I'm enjoying the process of being vulnerable. The learning is happening right now. And I think until this reflection, I've been so focused on getting pats on the head and everyone loving me that I have forgotten that actually what I'm in the process of doing is learning. Like in a clown class where you try to do something funny and it doesn't work and you go off stage, we haven't failed. You've just learnt a thing. And I think I've forgotten that I'm in the process of learning as I do this thing. And that makes me think, like, as adults, I love education, and I'm 43 years old. That was a pause for you to say, you don't look 43, but you didn't.
Sorry, you don't look 43, Steph.
I don't. You break my heart.
I'm
43 years old. I'm 43 years old, and it's so easy to forget that we are constantly learning. Like we're going like that stops now, and I just know what's going on. And what a blessing to have a thing that I need to learn where I get to be the idiot. I get to be a kid again, being like, I don't know what works. And that I think that attitude is going to help me in trying things out, rather than getting stuck on trying to be successful and make mummy love me. Do you know what I mean? Like
our head of marketing. If you've seen
our head of marketing, my mother. If you've been following me on LinkedIn, my mother's a character now. By the way, G, she fucking loves that.
We know
so much. Oh, it's so great. Okay, I think that's have I done, do you feel as a listener to my reflection that I've shook the can as much as I can? Great.
Interestingly, where I was thinking about my week, my month, to summarize it before I tell you what it is, to introduce it perhaps is a better word. You started thinking about the vulnerability of it and you realized it was a learning thing. Well, as you were talking, I was thinking about it as my experiences as a learning adventure. And realized as you were talking how vulnerable the whole thing was. So, dear listener, when I thought about what's been happening the last few weeks, few months, the very generous community that is ever growing of people that help us do small business things has been very generous with their time in the last month. And it is those that I've met with that are kind of long-standing colleagues and friends have then introduced me to others who are new and also very generous with their time and know different things to me and have helped me by just talking to me about business and life and products and things. And I thought, like, the endeavor there is always to, if I can learn something from them and maybe be generous in my own time and help someone else learn a thing, I will. And that actually had happened this month. Someone asked me for help twice, and I forgot about those when I was originally thinking about it. I enjoy that exchange of, I can help you, you can help me, we'll learn some things. And the business community is forever growing in size and people, but also in knowledge and understanding. And one of the things that is the motivator behind this business for us is that we don't know what anyone's job will look like in 5 years because technology will change it. And no one that tells you that they know what everyone's job will be like in 5 years actually knows, because different companies are working on different things. All we know is that we're going to have to work with other people and we're going to have to learn how to do these things. And so that's one of the things I've been thinking about. But it's a very vulnerable experience to learn. And in the way that I've done it in the last few weeks, or been thinking about it in the last few weeks, it's not just going to people that I've known for a really long time and being like, wow, this business thing is hard. Let me talk to you about it at the moment, and you can be wise and ask questions and things and give me your advice and help me. They've also gone, do you know what? I know this person who now lives overseas, and I bet they'd be really interesting for you to talk to. And the vulnerability of being like, okay, that's really generous of you and them. Okay, I'll do that. I'll have a conversation with the new person and ask them to help me in some way. And everyone that has happened with has been so kind and just nice people to talk to. It reminded me of all the things that I like about the jobs I've had, which is meeting new people and finding cool stuff out about them and work and stuff. And it is quite a vulnerable thing to go, okay, I'll have a conversation with someone new and put myself out there, put my business out there, and potentially be seen as a time waster of them, of their very busy, important people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So your fear is that you're wasting someone's time.
Yeah, and we're trying to build a thing that we want people to think is valuable, and I want them to be able to say, yeah, that's useful and interesting and valuable, and I would buy it or someone else would buy it because it's useful and interesting and valuable.
Can I also share an observation? I've been in some of these meetings where it's our thing that we're getting people to comment on. I see you when someone gives you feedback on something that could be better. I'm not going to use the euphemism. I'm going to say I'm not going to say constructive feedback or opportunities.
Negative.
I'm going to say when someone tells us about something being crap, you love it. You love it. Yeah. I watch you and I'm like, because I hear it and I agree with them. I always agree with them, but I'm like, but you go, more, blah, 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 blah. So you also, I hear what you're saying about the worrying about like whether people like the thing, but I have seen you so often rise to that type of feedback.
I think it's because I learn why I might think it's crap too. Because it's not like I disagree with them every single time. I often agree with them like you do, but I don't know why I agree with them because I've tried to build the thing. And so I haven't quite worked out. And they've been able to share their experience as a potential person in the market, or someone that's also doing the thing, or someone that's also built the thing, their perspective, which is then helpful in us making positive change. Because before I had a conversation with them, all I knew was that I thought it was a bit crap. And I didn't know why.
Yeah.
Or how to change it, or I had an idea of how to change it, but didn't know if that would address the underlying crapness of the thing that we were building. Which is why I always think of it as a learning thing. Because that's what I want to learn. Not that it's crap, but why.
It makes me think, as we're talking, like how the armor of being a learner, what do I mean by that? Like, doing new stuff is hard. Being vulnerable is really hard. I tell you what helps, thinking of yourself as a learner. Then you kind of, it's like you've put padding on so as you can go and do the thing because you go, I'm learning, you know? And I think you are an expert in your craft of people related things. You've been working in it for a very long time. You have been a leader in organizations helping steer the people function and even the product of it. You're an expert in it. And yet you show up with the idea that you're learning, even when it's in an area which you have devoted your life to. And I think I do a similar thing, and I think people who I really admire do. They show up and they're always learning. Who's the actor who is Gandalf in the Lord of the Rings? What's his name? Ian McKellen. I'm so sorry that I forgot him. He's like a legend. That man goes to an acting class every week. Or he did when I heard this. Every week he shows up to an acting class to learn how to act because he's like, I'm still figuring out how to act. Dude's been doing it forever and is Gandalf.
Yeah. I remember an engineer that I always admired who was very, very senior when I was sort of just starting in technology and people things, saying to me, the more you learn, the more you realize you know nothing. And if you don't have that realization, then kind of feel sorry for you because life's full of interesting new information out there that you could potentially be cutting yourself off from if you think you know everything.
Do you know what image just came to my head then, or the idea that came to my head? Is if you are a person that thinks you are on top of your game, be very careful because something could be about to take you out. I know that's a very negative way of thinking about it, but I think if you feel comfortable that you're on top of everything, particularly in a world that literally just invented AI, you know how, like, no one should ever feel like they're 100% across all the things. And if someone tells you that they are, like, run away from them because, like, we all have to be learners that are trying to figure it out together. Because then, and this is interesting, G, we talk about connection so much. I feel like people who are coming in with that learning attitude are easier to connect to because they're also curious about you, about what's happening with you. There's more connection that can happen. Maybe, G, learning needs to be one of the things. Like, I just had the image of, like, what are the foundations of how a human sets themselves up to be a good connector? And I'm sure there are, like, a few. But potentially, I think learning, I mean, people would say curiosity, but I feel like learning is almost a better phrase because learning is, to me, being a learner is a role. Being curious to me feels like a state, whereas I know what a learner does. I have been a teacher, so I've seen them, but it's a role.
Yeah, it implies you're going to do something with your curiosity. Rather than just be a really engaging person to talk to.
Gee, I want to go back a bit in your reflection. When you're approaching these people to talk to them and it feels vulnerable, can you go to that moment of vulnerability and put more words around what that means for you? Like, describe to me these people are helping me out and I'm being a learner and it feels vulnerable. Describe that to me.
I'm not good at describing my feelings. I think what I'm going to not answer the question and give you something else and see if it's useful.
Great.
I always want to make sure that there's a purpose behind what I'm trying to do, because I think one of the things because these are professional networks. What am I asking of this person to teach me? And if I think about the introductions that were made or the times this month, they helped us generally, but each one had a slightly different purpose. For example, one we were in a couple of weeks ago with a people person that has always been very open to us and genuinely wants us to succeed. We just said to her, we're thinking about these products that we're developing. Can we talk to you about what those are and your experiences with the various processes or issues that we're trying to address? And it made it easier for her to come to that. And it made it easier for me in all those meetings, because I could go, okay, this is what I'm trying to get out of it. And they know that's what I'm trying to get out of it.
Dare I say shared task?
Shared task.
To me, this comes back to the groups work better when they actually know what they're there for. And you were the one instigating. You were the one leading. So you were like, this is the thing.
Yeah. This is what we are here to do together.
Yeah. That's a great answer. I know you didn't answer the thing. But can I also say on that as well, when I'm talking about describing the moment, I'm actually not meaning describe the feelings. I'm literally like, go to the moment where you feel vulnerable, and it could be anything. It could be like, well, it's actually when I write the email, weirdly, or it's when I'm about to jump in the Zoom. Like, it's less about what the feeling is, but more like, tell me more about that vulnerability. Because I'm interested.
I think before I remind myself of what is the purpose that the other person understands. Because I have a fear of wasting time.
Yeah. And it's almost like reminding of sorry, can I check for resonance with you? I'm going to say a sentence and you tell me if it is right. I feel vulnerable. I feel nervous. Something feels, the way that I ground myself is I go, what are we here to do? Both for them and for me being you, to pull myself back into like being able to be confident and hear and learn. This learning thing is very interesting because to me, what you just did then is you set the learning goal for yourself.
Yeah. To help my teacher or mentor or whatever name you want to give the people that are talking to us, actually feel like they have contributed something too. Because I have been on the other end of calls when someone's called me and said, I just need help with, can you help me? And I go, yeah, great. And then at the end I go, was that helpful? I've just told you my various opinions about various things. And often they say yes. But it's less clear at the beginning what they're asking for. And so I try really hard to then go, oh, did I actually ask? And if not, I'll try and reiterate it in the meeting. Appreciate your time. Thanks for the introduction and being willing to just talk to a rando like me. The reason that they introduced us was you have skills in this area, and I would like to develop my skills in that area. Or I'm trying to build this thing that your skills can be really helpful for. Can we just talk about the thing and see where we get to?
Here's this specific thing.
Yeah.
I have a question for you before I ask you, so what conclusions are you drawing from all of that? Was it fun? And you're allowed to say no, but this whole process of talking to other people, was it fun? And being vulnerable.
Oh, yeah, I always enjoy the meeting a new person and hearing their experiences. Or not even meeting a new person, like our lovely business mentor who we meet with about once a week. This week told us about a work thing that I had no context on at all before then. And it was just so interesting. People fascinate me. I'm one that never needs fiction because non-fiction and human existence just interests me plenty.
So what conclusion are you drawing from that time?
Probably copying your homework, in that those moments of vulnerability were positive because always felt like I learned something, more engaged afterwards. I had more information. It kind of motivated me, gave me energy to do something else,
Mm,
to change the website, to
mm,
look at that part of the product, to focus our energy over there. Always interested me and kept
mm,
me doing things,
mm.
which in a way is confidence, but confidence through better understanding of something.
Yeah, confidence is so strange. It's almost like you give yourself confidence by allowing yourself to be a learner, which is like saying, I don't I don't have to have confidence because I'm allowed to be crap at this.
Mm.
Does that make sense? And then that gives you confidence because you're like, man,
Mm.
I'm really into this, like the role of learner thing, and how it's more than just I'm going to training and therefore I need to be a learner. I am a student in a formal setting, so therefore I need to be a learner. No, like the role of learner is everywhere. Is when
Well,
you're trying to figure out how to talk good to your dog. You're learning from the dog. The dog is learning you, you know?
I've been always have been, probably, well, since leaving school or university, since leaving there, I've been a crap go to a workshop, apply that workshop to work, which is why our business is fascinating, because we're always talking about the balance between going and learning a thing and learning on the job, and how do we help people do both those things.
Both.
Um, because I just want to do more stuff and then apply learnings as I'm doing stuff. And so each of the meetings that I've had this month had a purpose, and learning was only one of the purposes. Learning about a different thing to help
Hmm.
me build product, to help me
Uh-huh.
market something, to message something.
Mm.
But get me an article to read on any of that stuff. Don't take any of it. Much rather
Yeah, I
talk to a
mean,
person.
we could go on a whole nother tear as someone who has studied education. And I wonder if it's not so much about you not being a good learner in those environments as to whether those environments were actually set up to actually learn good in. What do you not like that those educations, or was the teacher shit? Like that that's my, you know.
Well, as adults, though, we are motivated by our own. Like, it's not like we're at school and we have to learn a thing.
Mm,
We're out in the world, and if we don't learn a thing, then career, money, enjoyment of life, challenge is all impacted. So it's like a very self motivated thing. And I'm
mm,
motivated by connecting with people,
mm,
which I would argue most people have a little bit of that, if not all, which is why we put our business into that. And connecting with people as a learning exercise is helpful for
mm.
me to actually learn something.
Yeah, me too. Bit of theory, then apply it with a person, even if it's
Mm.
just talking about the idea. This is why I always get sad when someone goes, "Can you do a workshop? You've got an hour." And I'm like, "Great. In an hour, I'll be able to talk at someone. But if you
Mm.
want learning to happen, there has to be a period of time within the moment of learning where they can pick up the concept and knock it around, or it's not going to hook into their brain." And that's not to say that a really good hour of talking at someone can't be good and educative, but like when you experience something, when you get to play with a concept, it's in you in a different way. Um, yeah. What do we do
Mm.
now, G?
Well, we've been chatting for a while. We've had our reflections. We could probably send everybody off to listen to something else with their ear holes and go and make some flying cars.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Great. I thought you were about to say we could probably send people off to like go and learn things. But
well, that's true too.
make flying cars is the end thing. So say it again and then we'll stop the episode. So go do it again. Go.
Let's go make some flying cars.
Hey!
There we go.
That was nice, wasn't it?